Okay, so in the last video, we looked at building the script where we used kind of two locators, right? Protractor specific locators. One is by.model and the other was by.binding, right? Now we are going to build some more scenarios here, right? Where we'll be looking at few other locators which we discussed. So let's quickly create another describe function. So here it is going to deal with to-do list, right? And then a function. So it ends here. And then, sorry, so quickly going to describe a spec here, right? So it, and then list to do items, and again a function, right? So this is our spec, and inside this what we are going to do is, this is our scenario, right? So in the to do page there are two items and it should be listing these two items. So we are going to count the number of items present in this to do list, right? So let's look at where this to do list is present. Okay, so on the HTML code, if you see, right, there is ng repeat list type, right? Li type. So this is our code for ng repeat, and to do in this is the kind of value for ng repeat, right? Now, as I explained earlier, this will return you a list of elements, right? So I'm going to kind of variable list equals to, so element, and I'm going to use here by dot repeater. Okay, and inside this I'm going to pass on this value so that it can identify this element here, right? Then so what we need to do is we need to verify this, right? So we are going to use again expect here, and then list dot count function we'll be using here, and then dot we'll be using this time to equal, right? And this will be, value will be 2, right? So this will grab all the list items and then it will verify whether the value is 2 or not. Okay, one small correction I need to do here is, so this count will be small, and then instead of element we are going to use element dot all, right? Because element will kind of return you a single element, but element dot all will return all your elements with this locator, right? So we want that. So this completes our function. Now what I'm going to do is, okay, let's write another small kind of scenario here, right? And what we're going to do here is we are going to add a new item to this list, right? So let's do that. Add item to list, and then function. Okay, and then similarly we need to add a spec here. Okay, so let's make it add item here, and here I'm going to mention add item to list, and then function, right? So this is a scenario, and then what we are going to do is we need to add first, insert some text here and then click on add, right? So how you're going to do that? So this is a button, submit button, right, which has a value, and this is our input type text, right? So it is ng model. So again, we can use something like element by dot model. Inside this, we need to give this value here, right? And again, we need to do send keys here. So send keys and the value. So what will be the value? So a demo test, right? So this is my value, which I'm going to enter into that list. Now we have set the text here. Now we need to click on this button, and this is the button, right? Now there are different ways you can write this particular script to click on this add button, right? So one is using the button text locator, and one is using the CSS locator. So we'll see both. So what it is element, right? And by dot button text. So by dot button text, inside this, you need to give this value add, right? And then I need to click on this button. The other way of writing this is element by dot CSS, and what's the value, right? And dot click. So these are the two ways of writing the same line of script. Okay, so we cannot have both. So I'm going to just comment this line out, right? So these are kind of two scenarios which we have added to our spec.js, and we are going to execute it. So instead of one dot, you will see three dots now if it passes, right? Okay, so let's save this, save all, right? And then we need to use the same command here, protractor conf.js. Okay, so it will go to the page, then it will verify on the first home page, or it will execute our first script, right? So as you see, it was very fast. We could hardly see the execution, but as you can see on the R console that there are three dots now, right? And it is mentioning there are three specs, 0 failures. That means your test has passed. So, and here we used kind of all our locators, which we discussed earlier, right? By.model, by.button text, by.css, by.repeater. We also used element.all function, and then by.binding, by.model, right? So these are the different locators. So as you can see, it's pretty similar to how you write your scripts um, in Selenium, right? When you're working with normal web applications, the only thing changes it makes it more easier, right? We have direct browser function, we have direct element function, so there is little less less coding you need to do, and plus the Jasmine framework, it helps you build your scripts, right, easily, and you can easily understand what you're writing. So this is our test suite, and then inside this we have three specifications or scenarios. So this is how you build your scripts in Protractor using different locators. In the next videos, we'll be looking at some more live examples, right? We'll be picking up a different application and we'll be automating it from scratch using Protractor.